Something just snapped inside Denny Hamlin. Not frustration, not anger, something bigger, a full-on call to arms. After weeks of rising tension and one wild, reckless showdown at Iowa Speedway, Hamlin grabbed the microphone and did what most drivers won't. He called out Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott by name. Why? Because according to Hamlin, their racing was flat-out dirty. Now, the internet's on fire. Because Hamlin didn't hold back, not even close. It all went down at what was supposed to be just another mid-season race at Iowa. But when two Hendrick Motorsports drivers like Larson and Elliott go at it like it's the last lap at Daytona, yeah, things escalated fast. What started as an aggressive fight for position quickly turned into a dangerous, messy, disrespectful showdown. This tension had been building for months. You could feel it in the air, but at Iowa, it exploded. Elliott and Larson, already battling tight in the points, decided they weren't just racing each other. They were out to dominate, no matter who got caught in the crossfire. Even Hamlin. Stage 2 was where things really went off the rails. Larson and Elliott were holding back deliberately, setting themselves up for a restart advantage. Then boom, 4 wide into the turn, chaos everywhere. Hamlin was right behind them, watching the madness unfold live. It's a complete disregard for the people you're laying back from, Hamlin said on his Actions Detrimental podcast. You're willing to stick them in a 4-wide situation where you know someone's gonna wreck, and you just don't care. Hamlin didn't sugarcoat it. He came out swinging, accusing Larson and Elliott of manipulating the restart, laying back 3 car lengths, then blasting forward at speeds 10 miles per hour faster than the rest of the field. The goal? Squeeze the pack, shock the system, force drivers into mistakes. Hamlin's words, brutal. They both deserve to wreck, he said. The podcast episode blew up immediately. Social media went wild with clips of Hamlin demanding NASCAR do something. Anything is about this reckless behavior. You're not allowed to do that, Hamlin said flatly. And here's the heart of the controversy. NASCAR is doing nothing. They're letting this stunt happen again and again. Hamlin, do it as much as you can get away with it, because no one's going to stop you. Meanwhile, Larson wasn't holding back either. After getting tangled in multiple late race incidents, he went off on his team radio, shouting, "How much fucking room do I have to leave people?" You could hear the frustration, exhaustion, and total loss of patience in his voice. And then there's the bigger picture. 12 cautions, 72 laps under yellow, 7 cautions in the final stage alone. This race turned into a demolition derby. For Hamlin, it wasn't just frustrating, it was embarrassing. Everything sucked, he said on his podcast. I sucked, the car sucked, the tires sucked, the next gen sucks, it's just everything. That wasn't just venting, that was a veteran sounding the alarm. He wasn't just mad at fellow drivers, he was furious at the whole system. From Goodyear tires that don't wear down enough, to NASCAR officials refusing to penalize dangerous moves. The attitude of the cars is wrong, Hamlin said. It's wrong. Please fix it. You could hear the desperation in his voice. This wasn't just about Iowa, this was about the future of NASCAR. And the scariest part, Hamlin's not alone. Fans are starting to ask tough questions about safety, fairness, and if the sport they love is turning into a circus, where reckless driving goes unchecked and teammates throw each other under the bus for a few extra points. Hendrick Motorsports, one of NASCAR's top teams, now finds itself in a firestorm. Their 2 best drivers are openly clashing on track, and veterans are calling for intervention. But this is just the beginning, because what Hamlin said next, that's where things really explode. Hamlin wasn't just mad about what Larson and Elliott did. He wasn't just annoyed by the chaos or wrecks they caused. No, he went further. He made it crystal clear he wants NASCAR to step in, not with a warning or a slap on the wrist. He wants real penalties, real enforcement, real accountability, because this isn't just one race. It's a dangerous pattern forming right under NASCAR's nose, and no one is doing a thing to stop it. The frustration poured out of him. What I'm calling on is NASCAR officiating to do something about it, Hamlin said, because it's a complete disregard for the people you're laying back from. Think about that. Denny Hamlin is accusing 2 of the sport's biggest names, Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott, of flat-out not caring if they wreck those around them. And in Hamlin's eyes, the reason they keep getting away with it is because no one's brave enough to hold them accountable. Not their teams, not the officials, not NASCAR itself. And that's where it gets even more tense. The moment Hamlin said that, fans started picking sides. Some backed Hamlin 100%. They saw the chaos at Iowa, the Hendrick teammates racing like bitter enemies, and agreed, someone has to put a stop to it. Others, not so much. They say Hamlin's just bitter because he didn't have the speed, that he's blaming others instead of owning his own bad race. But here's the thing, Hamlin owned it. "I sucked. The car sucked. The tire sucked. Everything sucked," he said. He didn't dodge responsibility. He just pointed out the chaos was bigger than him. Meanwhile, what about Larson and Elliott? These two aren't just teammates. They're both fighting for a championship. Elliott sits second in points. Larson is right behind in third. But after Iowa, you wouldn't know they were on the same team. Larson was openly angry. Elliott was quiet, but clearly frustrated. The fact they collided multiple times while racing each other harder than the rest of the field shows just how messy things are inside Hendrick Motorsports. Now, everyone's wondering, will this rivalry explode next? NASCAR has seen teammate drama before, but this feels different because now one of the sport's most influential veterans is dragging it all out in the open. Hamlin didn't whisper these complaints behind closed doors. He broadcasted them on his podcast, with quotes going viral across social media in minutes. That kind of pressure doesn't just fade away. NASCAR officials are listening. Team owners are watching. Sponsors are getting nervous. Because when one of your top stars says both drivers deserve to wreck, that's not just a soundbite, it's a warning. Here's the irony. Kyle Larson, the same guy Hamlin slammed, recently said he thinks NASCAR has turned into a joke. On another podcast, Larson said movies like Talladega Nights hurt the sport by making it look like a joke to outsiders. "I think it turned our sport into a joke, unfortunately," Larson said. But after Iowa, fans are saying the same thing about him. Because if you're putting drivers 4 wide just to gain a few spots on a restart, if you're blowing up your own teammates' chances for a win, what exactly are we watching here? And still, NASCAR has said nothing. No penalties, no statements, just silence. That silence, it's getting louder by the day. Fans are starting to wonder if NASCAR has lost control of its own rulebook, if the code of conduct that built this sport is being ignored in favor of drama and highlight reels. Denny Hamlin, love him or hate him, is the one voice saying what no one else will. Now we're at a crossroads. Larson and Elliott are locked in a teammate war. Hamlin is rallying for officials to finally step in. And NASCAR, they're on the hot seat. Because if nothing happens after this, if there are no changes before the next green flag, what message does that send? That chaos wins, that wrecking your teammate is just hard racing, that laying back, blasting forward, and shoving the field 4 wide is fair game now? That's the question every fan is asking right now. And it's the one NASCAR better have an answer for before the next wreck turns into something worse. So, what do you think? Is Denny Hamlin right to call them out? Should NASCAR finally step in? Or is this just racing the way it's always been? Messy, unpredictable, and fueled by rivalry? Let me know below, because this story, it's far from over.